Okay, let's see. I'm putting this on the bare wire here. I have a tool here for the multimeter that pushes a pin through the insulation where I can touch the wire. This is what I'm trying to do now because I'm not happy with the results that I'm getting on the meter. So I'm testing. I'm getting too much fluctuations, as you can see here. I'm getting fluctuated reading. It should be showing 1.5 to 1.8. So it's showing very high. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the insulation off another wire, and I'm gonna use the alligator clips so I can actually see the wire and touch the bare wire, just in case there's a problem with the connector itself. Now this is extra work, but you can't be afraid to do extra work. So here I put the alligator clip directly on the metal part of the wire so I can see if it's still going to fluctuate. I'm going to check the solenoid here. It's the low reverse I'm checking. Pressing on very tight. Still not happy with it. So I'm going to pull the low reverse wire and then check it again, just like I have the alligator clip on the voltage feed wire. I'm going to put it on the solenoid circuit. Okay, got the negative alligator clip. Now I'm touching bare wire, and I'm going to see what kind of reading I get now. Still no good. 32.45 is jumping all over the place. This is no good. So there definitely is a problem here. Okay, I do it some more testing, wiggling the wire. Actually, I'm doing wiggle test. This is what they call a wiggle test, when you put the meters on the wires and you wiggle the wire and you see if you have any movement in the meter, which I have lots of movement. So something is wrong, really in the wiring probably, but we'll find that out. Now when I do test the other solenoids, for instance, right now I'm testing the 2.4 and showing 1.8, the underdrive next showing a 1.8, and the overdrive is showing a 1.8. But when I test this low reverse solenoid, it shows all over the place, and it should be showing the same thing, 1.8, but it's showing 35. The OL is doing all sorts of things. So something is not right. And the computer is picking this up, which is throwing it in limp in mode. So, and I guess it looks at this as being more important than those two wires that's off the input speed sensor. But if this is to be fixed, then the input speed sensor code probably pop up also. So let's go to testing the solenoid directly. First, you take off this radiator hose, which is the top radiator hose. There's a clamp there. that you can use pliers to take that off. Next, you got to get the water bottle out. However, this water bottle was loose, so it had a bolt down inside of it. You have to find that bolt, but you have to pull the water bottle out after you disconnect the bolt so that you can get down to the solenoid. Okay, so you pull this water bottle out and move it to the side. And where you want to get to is down here, right where those wires are. So you want to move these wires out of your way so you can see. Push them to the side, and then what you're trying to get to is right underneath those transmission hoses. That right there, that is the solenoid. That's the harness for it. This manifold may be in the way, but we're going to try to get it without having to disconnect that manifold. Alright. We're gonna, I see the solenoid, see the input speed sensor solenoid wires are there. And we're gonna handle that after we get to seeing how the solenoid pack is. So the first thing we do is get ourselves ready to take those hoses off. You see the hose clamps. There's some type of squeeze type hose clamps. There is a tool for these that makes it much easier. But if you can't get the tool, then you have to suffer with a good pair of vice grips. Probably the needle nose, which is what I'm using. So you get on the needle nose and you compress these hose clamps and you pull them back. I don't reuse these. I don't like these things. I think they probably put them there because maybe they're cheaper to make. But once I get those off, then I go back with regular hose clamps that you screw on. So you have to take that off, and then you take the one off from both hoses, really. It may take you some time, like I said, if you don't have that hose clamp removal tool, but you can get them off. Now, one thing also, once you get these hose clamps off, the hoses are gonna, if they're still good, they will be very tight around the barb fittings, which is on the transmission. There is something you can stick in the hoses in order to allow it to lose its suction, but also you can use a razor, which you will see next, to cut a slit, maybe about 1/2 inch slit in the hose, like here, right along the side of the hose. Cut a little slit there. When you cut the slit, then you will break the suction, and then you'll be able to twist it and get it off. The only thing is, after you cut your slit, you must cut the hose off so that the slit doesn't have a leak. So you probably you cut a 1/2 inch slit, you need to cut 1/2 inch of the hose off. Okay, and as you see, you pull them out. Now make sure you know which one goes where. If you need to take some tape and mark it, and put some tape on it and mark which one to what. Don't care, just put the tape on and mark it. It's better to know than to not know. And there is the pack down there. Alright, time to move on to part 3.